Hello, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium. I had to restart this video. I was doing one and it went into state of the economy and things are going awry and one thing after another. I said, that's not what this video is about. This is horoscopes for everyone. And you know how this is done. I have a little piece of paper with all the astrological signs on it. And as I go through them, I'll check them off. If I don't check them off, I always leave one out. And then one of you will tell me, you left this one out, and I've got to redo it. So this is how it starts. Scoot your chair up, get the lighting sort of okay. Wouldn't want to appear too bland on YouTube. Okay, Aries. Forget about what you know. What you don't know is what's getting you in trouble. What you know is successful, but the things you don't know about what you're doing can save you for tomorrow. What you're doing is using the information you know now to do today. But if you could see what was coming, and you can, ooh, something about another notch on your belt. You must be climbing a ladder of some kind. I never heard of people putting notches on belts. Okay. Anyway, direct questioning is always better. Ask direct questions. Don't go around the bush too many times. When you need to ask someone a question, walk up and just ask them that. Maybe even as bluntly as you can. You're too worried about other people's feelings and nothing's getting done. Whew. It's going to be a strange month, I can see. Taurus. It's time to stop fiddling around and get down to it. I think you're stalling around about something, and there's been major pressure to bear on you. And I think the thing that you were supposed to do, it's too late to do it. The thing you were supposed to pronounce and make a decision about, I think that's come and gone. I think that's lost. But there's another big one coming up next month. And when you see it, pull the trigger on it. Make the proper decision. It may not be for you. It may not be what you're comfortable with. And being comfortable with something is the key to happiness. That too often we're doing jobs that we're uncomfortable doing. The worst thing in the world is when the world turns you into something it wants you to be instead of you being what you want to be. Don't let it happen. Pull the right trigger. Something about moving on. Gemini. Something's gotten too complicated. You need to reduce the number of elements in it and don't proceed until it's simplified. Always stick with a simplified version of whatever it is you're telling. And there's something about contact, no contact. That doesn't sound good though, does it? It's like you should contact these people, but these people you shouldn't. Some kind of a deliberate choice is being made either about you or by you to eliminate people, which can be a strong point. Most people can't do that. But there are people, this has something to do with your mother. You've got to include her in more stuff. Something about happy birthday. This one sounds too personal for Cancer. Get off your feet. Get on your feet. Get on with it. Quit stalling around. Be gentle but firm. The reason things have sort of stalled is you're not asking the right questions. And to some degree, that's true, that the other person needs to make these decisions, but I think you can encourage. Hello, this is Gary. Yes. He doesn't live here anymore. Drug salesman. You can tell by all the background noise. It's what's called a boiler room. Anyway, we don't interrupt anything. Cancer. It's about asking the appropriate questions at the appropriate time. That this one could slip through your fingers if you are not carefully observing the situation. And when there's a pause in the action, if the right question is asked, it'll be answered. But you have to ask it in a timely manner. Somebody's getting too comfortable. Leo, they're talking about abrogating responsibility. I don't know what that is because that comes up in readings all the time. Someone from the other side, one of my guides, says abrogating responsibility. So you're not taking enough ownership of whatever it is you're doing. You deny the results, but you created the monster, and it's your monster. So if you created the monster, you have to, and delegate. You'd be delegating a lot more. You want to be seen as a lone hunter out there grabbing the bull by the horns and throwing it to the ground, and really that doesn't impress anybody more than a second, where if everybody did it together as a family or a group or a work environment, then everybody's impressed forever that you didn't crow about it. You allowed other people to get involved and take some of the credit. You're abrogating responsibility of leadership too. This is your thing. If you don't lead it, somebody else will, and you won't like the results. These are strange, almost too personal, aren't they? Virgo, you're doing something that's habit forming and you need to stop it. I don't know what it is. Either you're smoking or drinking, maybe you're chewing your nails. It's something that's very intoxicating in a way, and yet, and it has no bounds. The more you do it, the worse it's going to get. It has something to do with palpitations in the heart are sort of being created by this. Struggle with identity. Maintain who you are. Don't allow it to be hijacked by people. It's like I was saying earlier that if you let the world turn you into something you're not, then you're not going to be happy with it. Take the world by the throat and shake out what it is you want out of it. And believe me, the world will cooperate if you do it. You just go ahead and do it. You're doing something bad for you. That could be anything. Be playing too many video games or and somebody's saying one thing out of one side of their mouth and then they turn around and they say something out of the other side of their mouth. It's very aggravating. As if this is you, you need to stop it. You have to tell everybody the same truth. You can't, because these people want to hear this, you can't go blah, blah, blah. And then this group over here, you tell them a different thing because that makes them happy. It's almost like what politicians do. They tell the group they're in front of things they want to hear, and then the next group they tell them a whole other story. When the same story is true. Just tell one story. Someone's talking out of the side of their mouth. Isn't that an interesting saying? I haven't heard that in a long time. Had to hear it from the other side. Libra, you need to scratch a friend off your list because they're never going to come around to your way of thinking. You needed a friend at one point, and that's how you got this friend, but their time has run out. See it for what it is. They don't agree with you on most things. And It's okay to have a friend who doesn't agree with you, but about almost everything makes it, it's not a friendship. You're sort of enduring it, and they're sort of enduring it. And pretty soon you start wondering why you're hanging out with them. And the truth is, you shouldn't be. It's time to just, like that. Scorpio, hazardous conditions exist. That's interesting. Either something is happening that's not good for you and you've allowed it to happen. If something has exposed your weakness to others and now they're going to use it against you, which is dangerous. Cautionary tale here. You sort of allowed it to happen. You said things you shouldn't have said, and now they're going to use it against you. Well, man, you did that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Sagittarius, small gains coming. Don't get overexcited. These are small incremental gains. You're kind of through with the negative stuff for a while. The next several months are going to be small incremental gains, such that if you don't acknowledge them, you're doing a disservice. And you didn't do all this. Someone from the other side finally got you to listen, and you're going down the right road the right way. And often the difference between success and failure is listening. This is an interesting story. I got up this morning and wife's coming home tonight, so I decided to do some laundry and a little cleaning up. And in the middle of that, I heard this big loud thing. I need to be doing this thing. So within a blink of an eye, I dropped what I had in my hands and went in the car and left to do this thing I'm supposed to do, which was successful. It's a difference between listening and not listening. Had I ignored that, I mean, it's not earth shattering, but it was a small gain in a good way because I listened to what they were saying. Drop what you're doing. Now's the time to go. Capricorn, you're not always right, although you think you are. Sometimes you're wrong. The world doesn't work in the way that you think it is. You're not controlling things. It's controlling you. Don't be a slave to repetitive tasks. Stop what you're doing, do something different. There's no fun in life unless you do something different. Rattles your brain. Makes parts of it work that didn't work before. Instead of getting aggravated with the world, you should be happy that it has moved on, and you will have to learn new things to survive in it. It's a constant thing with us. The world changes, we want to sit down and do the same old, and are uncomfortable in change. Yeah, but it's like something you have to do. Aquarius. This is very strange because I know this is a water sign. That's all I know. Someone's saying someone is polluting the water around you. It's not good, whatever they're doing. A lot of sewage being dumped. Maybe it's you. And if you're changing the oil of your car and dumping it on the ground, it's you, because that ends up in the groundwater and then we have to drink it, which is why we're genetically altered. Weird. Keep your thoughts to yourself for the next month. Don't go bragging because people hate that. Be smart enough to know that it's like they're showing me someone playing poker and they're holding their cards really close to their vest. That's an old saying, keep your cards close to your vest. It means you just peek at them, lay them down, look once. They haven't changed any. 5 minutes later in the game, you're going to have to raise or do this or do that. You know what the cards are. By looking at them, it's as if you don't know what you have, which is not a good sign. And you also react to it. You go, or you go, Play this game close. Don't let your friends know either. Whatever it is that's going on, in your eagerness to get there, you might telegraph what it is you're doing, and others could take advantage of it. Be smart. Don't lay down for anybody. Someone's asking you to bunt, don't do it. It's not your time to bunt. It's your time to hit away. It's your time to take a big swing. You see the ball coming, take a big swing. I think you know what it is. It's an opportunity that's coming. Using baseball metaphors from the other side. I don't play baseball. Pisces, fruitful in your bounty. You need to share some of it. I think it's probably wisdom. You're beautiful in your own way, and you've been fruitful lately. You need to share some of that with someone else. Whether it's your ideas that have come across, or you've come into a little bit of money, and you're staring down the barrel of change, and you don't like it either. I said that earlier. And I'm not going to say the other one. So I can boil it down to something that's not so bad. Beware of pregnancy. That could be good news, but for some reason I'm getting the idea that it's not. Something is challenging the whole way you were brought up differently. And you have choices to make. Are you going to live this, or are you going to live this? And be calm about it. Make a decision pretty soon, because it affects the rest of your life. That doesn't sound good, does it? Okay, horoscopes for everyone is now officially over, and you can't hold me responsible. Okay, stay out of trouble. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.